How's it going everybody, I'm MisterBo, and in today's video we're going to be talking about changes coming to the Nightfall, the weekly heroic, as well as the rewards you're going to be getting from the Crucible. In this week's Bungie weekly update we got some brand new information on how these things are going to be changing when the Taken King comes out, and I'm going to be going through all of the information for you guys right now. So let's start off by going through the changes coming to the Nightfall. So one of the biggest ones is the Nightfall will now require you to be level 40 in order to play it. So that is a big change. You're going to need to now be the max rank before you can actually do the Nightfall. Another thing is they're going to be changing burn skulls a bit to motivate weapon rotation, and now that burn resist talents can be found on armor pieces, will rotate armor as well. Another thing they are doing is getting rid of the Nightfall buff so they can make it a little bit better and make it closer to what they originally intended. They say one of the things they didn't like about year 1 was how players could feel forced to play the Nightfall as early as possible in the week to maximise the benefit of the Nightfall buff. So we've shelved that buff until we can reform it into something closer to the original intent. They say we've adjusted sources of XP and reputation up to account for its absence. So the Nightfall buff is gone for the moment. It will be coming back in the future when they've worked out how to implement it a little bit better, so that might be something people are a little bit annoyed about. And the last change to Nightfalls is when your whole fire team wipes, you will no longer be sent back to orbit. Instead, it will now use a 30-second timeout penalty for death like the raids on normal. So if your full team dies, you don't have to start that whole Nightfall again, and this is so people don't feel they have to play it safe all the time. They can sort of rush in there a bit more and not just camp in a corner, shoot some enemies, move on, play it really safe like you do it sometimes at the moment in Nightfalls. Now Bungie is also going to be changing the weekly heroic strikes. They have decided to remove the dedicated weekly heroic strike from the game this fall, and in its place they've added a brand new playlist, the Vanguard Heroic playlist. Each week players receive bonus legendary marks from the weekly heroic playlist. These rewards are received at the account level rather than the character level, as was the case with the year 1 weekly heroic rewards. This is so you can actually just play on one of your characters and get all the rewards. You don't need to play on all 3 of your characters to get all the rewards and then move them onto one character. And they actually say this: we made this change to enable players to focus on a single character more, or feel less pressure to gear 3 characters at once for legendary marks. The Vanguard Heroic playlist will also require you to be level 40, they are removing the weekly strike as I said, and accounts will now receive legendary marks for completing the first 3 weekly strikes in that playlist, meaning again you don't have to do it on each of your characters, just one character. They have also removed the weekly cap on how many legendary marks can be earned. So at the moment the Vanguard marks have a cap on them. You don't have that cap anymore. You can earn the max, spend them, and then start earning straight away. And they are also guaranteeing a legendary engram drop from a character's first clear of a weekly heroic strike. So if you do want to play on all 3 characters, you can get a legendary engram from completing 3 of those strikes. And those are all the changes to the weekly heroic strike. We can now talk about the final thing, which is PvP and the daily heroic. So they talk about how the Nightfall was built as a ritual experience for groups of 3 players in PvE, and they didn't really have a good one for PvP. You know, every week you'd go, yep, we're going to do the Nightfall, we're going to get the rewards. There wasn't anything encouraging you to do PvP. Well, that's going to change. Lord Shaxx is now going to have a set of bounties that you need to complete. Once you have completed all these bounties, you will then get a bounty called the True Meaning of War. Completing that bounty each week will give you Nightfall tier rewards. So this bounty will take you a whole week to complete and will give you a reason to play PvP if you want that Nightfall tier rewards and you're not so much a fan of PvE. And the final thing we're going to talk about is the daily heroic and the daily PvP. So they have increased the rewards on them and made them an account completion. So as soon as you completed one of them on one of your characters, that's it. You're not going to get the rewards for playing on your other characters. So you're just going to have to focus on one character. And this is because they don't want to make it feel like a chore, like you've got to play it on all 3 characters because you want to get the most out of it. This is just an easier way to focus on your one character, which I really like. I want to focus on my main warlock and I don't want to really switch between characters too often. So this is something that I'm pretty pleased about. But those are all the changes we got in this Bungie weekly update. Changes to the Nightfall, changes to the weekly strike, which is now being a Vanguard heroic playlist, changes to PvP rewards with the new bounty, and some changes to the daily heroic and the daily PvP. So let me know what you guys think of all these changes. Which things do you like? Which things don't you like so much? I'm very curious to find out what players are going to do who are new, that are maybe level 20, getting up to level 40. What are they going to do to level up? Because obviously they can't do the playlist and they can't do the Nightfall because that's level 40. Maybe they're just going to have to do some of the other strike playlists in order to rank up. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys missed my previous video in which I went through brand new features and changes coming to the strikes in the Taken King, then you can click the link on screen or in the description below. Feel free to give the like button a big old hug and subscribe for tons more Destiny content and coverage. We are only 2 weeks away from the Taken King. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.